Hello everyone, thanks for watching the Let's Look Brad channel. So this here is going to be something a little different actually. So I am here in Bayfield area. There is a nice little trailhead here. Dang, I can't even see the name of it. There was a name like Salis or Scallis area here, and it's a trailhead. As you see the views behind me, this is actually when I'm walking up the road. There's going to be a little cutoff there. It goes to the top of the hill, and there were a ton of preforms, prefab, whatever you want to call it, for arrowheads. A lot of them yesterday. A lot of good chunks that were there. There wasn't very much schist on top of there. There's a little bit of quartz, but mainly a lot of stuff that could be worked. A lot of stuff that looked really good. A lot of coloring too. So I'm gonna go up on the top here. I got my little bag, so hopefully if I find quite a few, I've got separate containers in here that I'm able to put the good arrowheads in one, and then the prefabs and stuff like that in the other. So pretty excited. Let's get up here and see if we get something. I'll bring you in if we find something nice. So I made it up to the top of the hill. Basically my truck is over that hillside here, on top where I wanted to be at. And this is where I was at yesterday when I was looking around. So just to show you what you're looking for, definitely colorations, but definitely also the easier pieces for them to chip off to work. Now this right here is just a little bitty piece of like pink quartz or whatnot. But you see, you could definitely nap that. You could take a elk horn or deer horn or something like that, and they'll break chunks of this off, and they're able to work it and to get it super sharp. There's a lot of it on the ground here. There's even these pieces right here. You see this right here? So they work the edges. It flattens it out, but the top portion probably broke on them, so they didn't want it. But that's a nice piece there. I was looking at another piece over here. So like this here is a nice piece to be able to break off. So they'll break big chunks of this off, and then they'll work it. It's a nice piece of like purplish quartz or really nice gum rock, whatnot. But yet again, this is nice to be able to nap into an arrowhead, and this stuff is laying all over the top up here. So as for mentioned, what I'm looking for is just little bitty pieces like this that have been worked, and then little bitty pieces that are laying all over ground. Maybe it might be the top side of a arrowhead, or maybe it's the bottom portion of it, or a preform that they were working and they didn't finish out and they just threw it out. But definitely what I'm looking for, like I said, it's all over this here, all over the top side of it here. So I'm gonna work down to the tree line here. It looked like it was an old burnt, basically a fence post or whatnot over there. It looks like it was burnt, so possibly somebody was up here, you know, in the past and living up here. But as you see in the distance, there's a house way over there, which is almost up on top of the road that comes in. So anyhow, I'm gonna keep searching just to bring you in for a second and show you what I was looking for. Okay, so I've been searching for a couple of minutes. I've actually only walked a few feet from where I videotaped that first section out, but man, this here is awesome. It's like a smoky quartz with that white milk vein in the middle of it there. Just imagine them breaking this off and making an arrowhead. It's crazy. It almost looks scaly. It's a really beautiful coloring to it. But then too, just walking a few feet away, that almost looks like a spike. Just the way that's made. Looks like a spike. It's all squared up too. It's a piece of stone. So that's interesting looking. Yeah, pretty wild. It has it squared up, squared around. So that's pretty cool. Like I say, it's a stone. So interesting there. All right, let's keep moving. All right, so I was actually right behind a tree over there, and I worked my way around. The trail is actually right here beside me. So stepping off, you get these little pieces of pottery. There's actually another piece right here on top of the rock where I actually got this one from. So there's a piece there, there's a piece there, and there's another piece here. So all the pieces of pottery that's up here on top of the hill. So you kind of got to put yourself in the perspective of if you were out here and if you were working where you'd be at. You know, majority of the time you want to be on the top side of the hill here, especially if you got trees to shade yourself, and then you're an area for yourself to work. So that's pretty interesting. They say that's 3 pieces of pottery right there. So still looking around, a lot of preforms, but nothing definite just yet. Man, look at the view. That's pretty crazy. And the truck is all the way down there, dead middle of that little dirt patch. I found something right here. It's flat on the bottom, but it's curved. It's got a nice sharper edge on the top up here. It looks possibly like it's got little finger slots here, like they would put their fingers in there and maybe scrape with it. So it's kind of hard to tell, but definitely you can see the finger grooves in there. But it's flat on the bottom there. And the colorations, I wish I had some water, but it's got like some yellow and darkish gray coloring, so yellow. So that's pretty interesting. It's got to be a piece of something. But there's still more pottery on the ground right here. I'm working around, but up here by the trees, I'm gonna work actually around the hillside here because there's a lot of rocks showing. There's actually a couple of rocks, a couple of stones there they probably could have sat on. That's just a random guess because you're saying that those have been there for a few hundred years, which these trees have only been here for probably about 35, 40 years possibly. So that's a good looking find though. As mentioned, I could see myself sitting up here, or this rock. Look at this rock. It's a perfect little sitting rock. You can have your legs that way and just chip away and play. So I was turning over here, and there's a lot of stuff they played around with, especially like this right here. They broke off a lot of extra pieces there to mold them in. You got a lot of this thicker shell type stuff here that they're playing with. But just pick that up. Look at that, how shredded that is. Pretty flat on the back here. Look at that, that's crazy. Super sharp too. That's wild. So that's a nice find. As I mentioned, you can just sit right here on this rock and chip away and throw your excess stuff away. So there's probably excess all up on top here. All this nicer green stuff here. Yeah, just broke away. I think that would be nothing, but yeah, that's pretty awesome find there. That's pretty cool. So I'm in probably about 85 feet off the trail over this way. Tough to see because it's only a horse trail, but you can tell the amount of people who've been out here. They stack up rocks on top of here, I'm guessing just to show that they've been in the area. These are pretty cool here. Look at this one. It's that red and yellow clay. Looks like it's been chipped off, played around with. A lot of other little pieces that's up here. I just set this one up because it had multiple. It almost looked like concrete, but it's a natural formation. It's just multiple greens, reds, some blues in there. You know, tell them what's on the bottom, probably some crystals and so forth, so on. Somebody else put one of those on there. It's been worked, as you see on the edge here. So that's awesome. Awesome, and a lot of folks are up this way. A ton of stones in the inside there too, and a bunch of lizards. You never know what you'll find when you're walking around. There's a bone sitting there for sure. Probably of a deer or something like that. Tough to tell, so they definitely have something to work with when they were here. Plus, how big this beetle is. How huge that sucker is. Good Lord, he's about 2 inches, 2.5 inches long. So hopefully that doesn't get a hold of your leg. Anyhow, I'm easing out of here for right now. I got a couple of nice finds. I just wanted to get in the area and see what it all looked like since I'm literally like 4 miles up the road or 5 miles up the road. This is an area I can come to and play around. Pretty excited. This is just one little trail though. So if I walk back out there to the main road, there's a main road right there. There's about 40 more trails that disperse out through all of the mountainside here too. So anyhow, pretty awesome, pretty cool that it's in the area. And I encourage y'all to get out and look some more. Y'all have a great day.